a nice comment. It will help you understand more about what we're talking about, because I can't go into the whole idea. But we talked about this thing called love, and I tried to the best of my ability for us to understand what that means, so that it doesn't have the old attachments from our childhood, or the ways that that word may have been misused or used against us. We need to clean that out, so that when we say love what is, that word love can create an opening for us and a safe place for us to go deeper. What is what is occurring. And that's what Byron Katie would say. She'd say, reality is what is. Reality, according to Byron Katie, is God. Because you really can't argue with it. And it sounds so crazy if you've made a living, which I think a lot of us have, with arguing with reality. Saying things like, that really shouldn't happen. Oh, bummer. Oh, that's too bad. All of those things have subtle energies of saying what is occurring isn't okay. And the truth of the matter is, it's happening. It's happening. So we can argue with it, or we can lay down the argument and go, what if what's happening is part of God's plan? What if God's plan is only for good, which I believe? God's plan is only for good, and God's plan includes me, and God's plan includes you, and God's plan includes and orchestrates everything that occurs. Everything that occurs automatically is orchestrated into the perfection of life, and it reveals goodness. If a person leaves, if a person comes, if a job comes, if a job goes, if a person is born, if a person dies, things happen. It's been going on for centuries. The same story, the exact same story is occurring over and over and over. And Byron Katie presents to us a way to get out of the story, which is first and foremost to just love what is, to observe it and go, how can I argue with what's happening, because it is happening. It sets us free if you can breathe into that. If you can breathe into the idea that life is just happening. She says that's all it does and all it will ever do. All it does and all it will ever do is happen. And there are times when life will appear to work according to your design. And we'll go, yay, it went in my direction. But the very next day, it's going to not work according to your design. So really, to play that game is just playing craps. You're just rolling the dice. And maybe you'll get lucky, and it will go in your direction. But the thing is, there's this little feeling, that feeling of like, the other shoe's going to drop. That feeling of what's going to happen next. It's because, on some level, if you're playing in the world of form, the world of duality, it is and it isn't, it is and it isn't. It goes back and forth as the waves go. So yes, there are times when things are going to feel good and you're going to feel like a winner. But don't take that personally, because if you do, the next day you're going to feel like a loser and you're going to take that personally. Did I say winner? Loser. Did I say loser? Winner, loser. You're both. You're both. If you play the game. But what is presented to us is the option of getting off the game. And behind the game is a reality of goodness and freedom that is perfect and for you. As I said last week, I had the wonderful grace of spending a couple days with her in Ojai, California. And she talked about the idea that she said to us, she said, to say that this is a friendly universe is only scratching the surface. There is so much love and goodness and perfection that is here for you. To say that it's good is just a scratch upon what is possible if we will give up the game of suffering. If we will just simply allow that which is occurring to occur. And as it occurs within us, welcome it. And if it doesn't feel good, question it and turn it around. There are three businesses, as Daryl read. My business, and as you saw in the skit, my business, your business, and God's business. And suffering is being in other people's business and being in God's business. If you are in either of those businesses, you are suffering. The only business that there is for you is mine. Or yours. Yours. Right? When you are in others or God's business, you're lonely. You are, and this was so profound when I learned this myself. If I am in your business, I have stepped out of myself. I've left myself. And if I leave myself, I'm lonely. There's a hole inside me because I have taken my power, my energy, and I projected it upon you. And so now there's this emptiness. And the returning of myself back to me is painful because of the journey I took. Every time I go into your business, I take a journey outside of myself. Now, it doesn't look like it in the world of form. What's really happening is probably me driving my car down the road. That's all that's really occurring, people. All that's occurring right now, you, man or woman, sitting in chair. That's it. You're not even focusing on breathing, by the way. There's something breathing you. There's something breathing you. But in the meantime, while you're sitting here, your mind is taking you on these extravagant journeys. Extravagant journeys. And every time you leave for a journey, you at some point have to come back. And when you land back in your body, good journey or bad journey, on some level, is going to cause you to have to kind of chunk yourself back into the present moment, right? So it's really, really cool to think about it that way. There's a great 12-step program, by the way, called Al-Anon, for people who really love to be in other people's business. So stop it. For some people, it is a disease. So they go to a program. And it helps them to go, oh, not my business. Because if we're addicted to being in other people's business, that's our problem. Our problem is that I can't stop thinking about who you should be or what you should do. My problem is I think that if you were different, I would be happy. That is a sickness that is inherent all over our beloved country. The idea that other people need to change so that I can be happy. There's another sickness that occurs as God's business takes place. And as a hurricane or as a volcano, as something horrible, we appear to be horrible, sweeps across the planet. And it appears to take people's lives, even though we know that no lives can be taken, because we are all eternal life, and all they did was lay down their body in a dramatic way. And who knows, maybe once they pop out, they're like, woo, that was fun! Did you see that? I mean, bam! Gone! That was excellent! Woo! Who knows? Do we know? No. So the first question, is it true that it's horrible? Is it true? I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that they were in the body, now they're not. That's what I know. That's what I know. And it doesn't mean that you don't have feelings or grief, but it means that the sooner you can start questioning the stories that you're making up about it. And there's such a belief in we're so seduced by the belief that, I'm angry. I've got to do something. I'm motivated by pain, suffering, fear, and anger. What horrible motivating conditions. You are the cause of your life. You are the creator. And that which you are motivated from is that which you will multiply and create. So the belief that you need to do something, we talked about this last week. The belief that if you are just peaceful and loving, you will do nothing is not true. Because as Byron Katie says, she has seen and proven that love is action. If you are in absolute peace and love, you will move and you will make change. Don't worry. Give it a try. You know, we negate it before even trying it. Right? Try it on. Sit on your couch and instead of contemplating the horrific things of this world, contemplate yourself as a perfect vibration of love. And contemplate it so deeply and for such a long time that it changes your mind. And in the change of your mind, watch something